Looks like we are in the process here. Trying to figure out what has been.
I love this guy right here.
All right, so that's that. Let's just cut this in here. Parametric EQ. I'm in the process, my guys. We are editing the newest episodes of Discover Connecticut. I've got 2 sick episodes. Joe, who owns the jiu-jitsu gym and a new coffee shop in town, came on. If you guys caught the 15-minute episode of Discover Downtown Fairfield when I met like 4 or 5 people, all that stuff's going to be cut into a shorter episode. But I went afterwards to Joe's coffee shop. He made me the Fit Espresso, which is his creation. It's this really cool protein. It's a protein espresso, and he says no one else can make it. It's his unique blend, and that's awesome.
Dare I say, it's like better than regular espresso.
It is. It was freaking delicious, I have to tell you. Did not expect it to be that good. No sugar. I'm like a guy, there's got to be sugar in there, else I don't even want to drink it, you know? And it was delicious. I have espresso here. Has made his coffee. Beans are brewed, but doesn't taste anything as good as what Joe made for me. So I'm excited because that was an awesome episode. And then it was pretty cool. Oh my goodness, I have so much to share with you. Today I get a message on TikTok. I don't know if I told you, if you watched the Ridgefield episode, which was right after the Fairfield episode, about 2 hours later, I went to Ridgefield, Connecticut, and I went live for 45 minutes. And then I shot some B-roll for another 10 or 15 minutes. I met some guy named Mike who's said he has the same camera as me. We kind of had a cool chat. I have to go back. I'll be editing that after I finish Fairfields. Long story short, though, when I was there, I met this guy, Jeff, and he put my microphone on. I have two lapel mics within my system. And he put my lapel mic on, and he walked away afterwards. I forgot that he had it on. He forgot that he had it on. So today I get a message on TikTok that says, "Hey, it's my name is Jeff. I'm from Ridgefield, and I have your microphone." And I'm like, no freaking way. And so I was in the middle of my open house, and I couldn't respond immediately. Within like 10 minutes, I get a phone call, and I see the number, and I'm like, I don't know who this is, but I think it may be that guy, Jeff. I pick up the phone, and I call, or I pick up, and I go, hello? He goes, hi, my name is Jeff. I go, Jeff! And he's like, I have your device. I was like, oh my goodness, buddy. I went live for 45 minutes hoping that you would come back. And I kept talking about you. I said, if you happen to see the episode when I release it. And then, he says, look, I could leave it at your Coldwell Banker office so you can go pick it up on Monday or something. I said, one better, if you don't mind. When we met, when I put that microphone on you and I put my microphone on me, I did not turn the microphone system on my camera. So our entire 8-minute interview is just nothing, just us talking, but you don't hear a thing. There's no audio. And he started laughing. And I said, so if you're open to it, I'd love to meet with you to get the microphone back. And if you wouldn't mind doing the second interview where we could talk about the first interview and maybe just give me the same spiel, but then we could have a chuckle about how you took my microphone the first time around, and please don't do it right now when you give it back to me. So he was open to that. So I'm going to probably meet with him, and then that will finalize the Ridgefield episode. But I got to tell you this, I saw one of my friends, Ted, out of nowhere just says hello to me while I'm there filming in Ridgefield. At the very end, I'm putting everything in the car, and Ted Grogan goes, Mark, and I look over and I go, Ted? And all of a sudden it's like we haven't seen each other years, and we had this great connection, and it reminds me how, and I just want to point this out to you in case you ever have this scenario, and you will, it always happens. When you see somebody say hello. I think that's going to be my new phrase. When you see someone say hello. Because when you see someone, there's a reason you're seeing them. You may not be able to put 2 and 2 together yet, but there's a reason you're seeing them. And so running into Ted, there's all these other things, these, they need an MC for this event they're doing soon. I do that essentially, you know, and so I'd love to do that. And so maybe we help there. They're also working with people who want to get into safe houses after, you know, going through personal struggle. They could benefit from the beat seat. We talked about that. Just seeing an old friend and having him say, you know, I see what you do online. He doesn't interact until recently, but we'd see each other, and then all of a sudden he says, you know, I see stuff, and when I stop, and it's so positive, and I'm like, well, I appreciate that. That's my goal. And it just is reminding me I never would have seen Ted. And he sees my stuff online, but we hadn't been interacting really until he saw me on the street shooting an episode and was willing to go out of his way because he saw someone he knew and he said hello. And I believe that there's reason. Every time you see somebody you know, you say hello, you just find out there's a reason you're connecting. Maybe it's something to do with them. For me, maybe it has something to do with real estate. Maybe it doesn't. But it's an opportunity to make new connections and old connections to rekindle. And that's awesome to me. So I'm pretty pumped about that. You know, had a good open house today. Hopefully I can get some new clients out of that. And I'm feeling really positive about this idea of talking to people on the street. I think that's the coolest thing. I think that makes these episodes better. I've had a few people tell me that recently that they like that a lot about Discover Connecticut, is when I'm talking to people. And it's not just me doing a thing. It's like me talking to people, asking questions, getting shot down, getting people like Doug on the air to share some straight up wisdom with us. I had a guy in Ridgefield who's a finance guy. I asked him, hey, can you give us any advice? His advice was pretty similar to Doug's. He just wasn't as passionate as Doug was. So Doug is unbelievable. That guy, I hope I could run into him again and do a secondary. But anyway, that's it, guys. I'm going to finish up editing this. It is Easter in 3 minutes. I hope you guys have a happy Easter. And I think, you know, I was just thinking long and hard. Honestly, it was 27 minutes ago, and I'm sitting here editing, and I said, you know, yesterday was such a great show. It's the perfect end to the streak. 2,300 days, you end on a high note. That show was so good last night. I played Joe Cocker. I didn't get the song right, but the parts I did sing, fuck, I couldn't believe it. My voice was on last night in the higher end. And some of the songs, I mean, this song I wrote about the wine, when it got going about 2.5 minutes into it, and then, I'm going to cut that and edit that into something. It was so crazy. And not all of it. I'm going to cut out a lot. I was listening to it today. I'm like, this is great. That's not good. I'm trying to find stuff. But the stuff that really connected with, you know, you spilled the wine and I think it's a crime. You know, we're going to go get a police report and get you a restraining order, you know. But I still want to hang with you, you know. But like, just as whenever you have wine, there's a restraining order against you. Like, it's so stupid. The rosé Cabernet stuff was pretty cool, and it all happens live in the moment, which I love. So I just asked Siri before, you know, making that final decision, which was to change the title from last night's show, from the 2,300th day in a row of the show to the final day of the streak, and just let that simmer for a couple weeks. I don't anticipate anything to change. I don't anticipate new people to find the platform. I'm the enemy of YouTube, enemy of many platforms for no reason at all. I think this is one of the most positive platforms on earth. And that perhaps makes me harmful, that we can do something positive together. That being said, I don't know if I'll do it, if I can do it, if I may get too much pressure and have to call it quits. But 200 days from now, 199, is November 4th, 2025. That it would be officially 2,500 days in a row going live, which 2,300 is insane. I had 6 people live with me last night on the 2,300th day in a row, so it was kind of like a final nail in the coffin, like, dude, you got to stop. But I've I've been living this insanity for 2,300 days in a row. What's another 200? Hearing all the freaking negativity from the people around me about why I should quit. So I don't know. We'll see. But it is just November 4th. I've done all of this so far, so I may at least continue to that and then call it a quit on that day and have hopefully that be an amazing show. But that's kind of where I am on it right now, guys. I would say this is kind of the clock starting then, just to give everybody fair warning. 200 days, if you guys care about this show, if you want to somehow beat the man, let's get creative. We got a little time left. The content's still here. The streak is still alive. And I don't really want to quit. I don't want it to stop. I just have to find a way to not look like a fool and start making a living for all of this creation. And clearly I need some sort of businessman or businesswoman to get behind what I've done so far and figure out how to monetize it through whatever means. I don't know how. I'm clearly not good at that. I give away everything for free. And that doesn't get me anywhere in life, but it makes me feel good at least. So anyhow, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to get back to finishing this episode here. I can't really see who's on, unfortunately. Let me see if I could click over and find out. 6 yesterday, 7 today. We're vertical, but still. Yeah, I can't get on. I don't know what the hell to do here. Anyway, if you guys haven't seen last night's episode, I think it was a very fine episode of music. And some of the cover songs are pretty solid. So, hope you enjoy them. And, yeah, I probably should have stopped and not gone on just now, just because it was a pretty solid end to the streak. I didn't play every song perfect, but there was good content in last night's show. So anyway, now that the ball is rolling through, which it typically seems to do here, I plan on seeing you tomorrow, although it is Easter, so it could be the end, and I just kind of killed this thing. I should have ended it at 2,300, and it would have been a much cooler thing to end at that, But anyhow, I guess theoretically I'm already live today. It's 12:03 on day 2,302 in a row, because it's 4/20/2025. Roll that motherfucker up if you're into it. And Easter's on 4/20 twin this year? Jeez. Well, guys, that's the story. I'm sticking to it. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I hope I'll see you tomorrow. And happy Easter to each and every one of you. I know you're not from Connecticut, but I hope you can get into this concept of me trying to generate more business. And, man, I'd love nothing more than to be here playing music and selling songs every day and making a living that way. Trust me. But I have to make a living the way I make a living. I don't know how to make any money this way. I'm so freaking defeated here. Demonetized, and I don't sell music on iTunes. I don't think I have many people on Spotify. So it's just kind of, and Spotify, you have to have a billion views or listens gets you $40,000. It's a lot of money, but to get a billion listens, like I get like 13 listeners a month. Anyway, it's just really freaking weird to have done all of this streak, and that's how many people consistently tune into my content. It's a freaking mental struggle, to be honest. But anyway, as someone said once, and it was someone in my family said, Mark's biggest fan. In the way they were saying it was like, I do it because I think it's good. And that's why, I'll keep showing up even though I can't get anybody else to like my content. But first of all, I do think you need to be your biggest fan. And if you're not, then you should quit. So yeah, I guess I am. I'll freaking take that. I'll take that. Clearly I'm the one who's been the biggest fan of this show since it started. I keep showing up. But there's been awesome people along the way who've become massive fans. And when I try to explain that to them, they're like, yeah, whatever. But, you know, Andrea O'Neill, S-Coop, the greatest mod ever, Trish Killian, Modoc Roughstock, Leisure Number 7, Pamela Swan. I mean, the list goes on. Renee Woods. I can just keep saying people that have become massive fans of what happens here. And so I don't believe what's said is true. You do have to be your biggest fan, but I do believe there are people out there that are excited and hopeful that I show up every day to put on another show. If that's not true, then I am truly my biggest fan. And then that's weird, but whatever. I have been sitting in a room by myself for 6 years doing this, so you have to clearly enjoy that if you're going to do it. And I've always felt like I'd rather do something that I can do, something I create, than follow the leader. You know, like, I don't know. For me, I've always wanted to just lead. I've just wanted to write the book. I don't want to read the book and follow. I want to write my own book and follow my own path and my own creation to the promised land. And if that means I'm doing it with a group of 12 amazing souls and that's it, it's unfortunate. And not that it's unfortunate because I don't value you guys, but, you know, I do this because I have a family. I need to make a living, and I can't this way. And it's really, really disgusting, to be completely honest. And, you know, out there struggling as a real estate agent, and I say struggling because I'm in a market where there's not a lot of inventory, and I don't know how to capture new inventory. I'm trying my best with this show, but I just don't know. I'm making phone calls, emailing people, trying to find new opportunities. But it's a frightening time to be a realtor in the Northeast. So if I can't find a way to make some secondary income with my guitar playing, with my music, with the comedy, with anything, with just being on the air, it's like, geez, I got to find a thing that I can make some money doing on the side. Like, that's the only real answer here. It's like, build beat seats. I'm not selling enough of those. It's got to be something else that I can do with what I'm able to do in order to generate some money. Instead of just doing it all and then spending money to do it more, you know? So that's basically where I'm at. Pretty crazy. 2,300 days, 2,301 days in a row. Still here. Still friggin' here. But you guys are awesome. Thank you for being here with me. And I hope you heard that last part. It's true. I value each and every one of you. And it's, I think personally, it's a shame that everybody else hasn't experienced what we have for the last 6 years. And they haven't experienced the positivity that happens here. That's freaking mental. With the amount of negativity in this world, the fact that the world has been completely muted to this pure light that we create here together it's perplexing. It just it doesn't make any sense to me. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, you got to cheer yourself on, you know. Thank you, S-Coop. You're awesome. I can't see too well on the screen, even though I got the stupid glasses. It's hard to see that small. But I appreciate you guys. I hope to see you tomorrow. I hope you have an awesome Easter Sunday with your family. And I hope I get to as well. And Monday, back at it again. I want to have this episode ready for Monday because no one's doing anything tomorrow except for family stuff. So I'm not dropping this stuff anyway. But I got to have it done. It's right now 14 and a half minutes long, guys. And this girl was awesome.
Mark Pyers.
Nice to meet you,
What's your name?
Mariah.
Mariah?
Yeah.
I actually started a show called Discover Connecticut where I...
Listen to this girl. She was awesome.
I love living close to the beach.
Yes!
And I love the brick buildings and the history in Fairfield.
Oh my goodness, my name is Mark Pyers.
Nice to meet you,
What's your name?
Mariah.
Mariah?
Yes.
I actually started a show called Discover Connecticut where I highlight the history, the small businesses,
lovely.
and my real estate business. So
Wow.
if you look for me on YouTube, you'll be on there.
All right.
Yeah, you'll be
all
on there
right.
tomorrow. Mariah, pleasure. Thank you so much.
Nice to
And
meet
look at that
you.
smile, guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you
she
so
was
much.
awesome.
Take care. Thank you again for...
She's walking by with some dude, and I'm like, yo, you guys want to get on Discover Connecticut? And she just popped right on. She goes, hey, I love Fairfield, and this is why I love it. And I was like, no freaking way, this girl's awesome. So cool. Sometimes you get to good people, and you're pumped because now the show is better. Is this working?
Stopping.
Yeah, some of the stuff I did doubles. I should have didn't realize that.
Friends, you don't
Like that.
want to sit still and allow time to...
Freaking A! You know when you do a double decker, when you only want to do a single decker. That's where you're at. So guys, that's this is the editing process. It's freaking mental that I do this. And I gotta sit here and now backtrack all this stuff I did doubles of. So guys, that's that. I know, exciting, right? Mark, really cool when you do the editing. No one gives a crap about the stupid editing. We don't even want to see the show. We don't want to see Joe and his cool coffee shop and Mariah with her awesome attitude.
Jiu-jitsu.
It's on again. I did it here. I don't know how many of... I guess I did it to all of it? I don't know. Now I'm really confused about this. I thought it was just... Yeah, this is where I did it. The coffee shop. So guys, I'm back at it.
So you're going to get a little more, so you're going to finish this off.
Yeah, I'm going to cut some of this
That
stuff
was so
down.
good. Oh, my man.
I'm cutting some of this down.
What a...
But he's there with his wife, served me the acai bowl, served me the freaking coffee. It was mint. I'm getting some of that stuff again, you know? We got to go down and check out Joe. He has this awesome venue I told you guys above the jiu-jitsu place. I used to play music there 15 years ago. It's called Skybox. Now he owns it. And the second floor he doesn't do anything with. He's like, we got to start doing events here. I'm like, dude, let's friggin' do it. I'll bring the beat seat. We'll film the whole thing, do an episode of Discover Connecticut, part of it, go live for the show, and showcase the space all in one. And so he seemed down with that. You'll see that in the video. It was the second time we talked about it. I just got to spearhead this stuff. Be like, Joe, let's pick a date. And then just I'm showing up with my shite. Hopefully he has a PA. That's the only thing I don't have is an amplifier with speakers and stuff like that. I mean, I do. It's just I don't want to bring that shit. I just want to bring my pedals, bring my guitar, and my microphone, and let's freaking rock. You know what I mean? Anyway, I got to go, guys. My battery's about to die on my phone. I'm at 2%. Amaro. Right Willard Guardsu. And Andrea O'Neill. You guys, thank you for being here. It's not letting me scroll back. You gotta love this. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Happy Easter.